Okay, guys, so I know it's been like 3 weeks, almost a month, since uh, a video, and I apologize, but there has been some crazy things going on in the background, massive opportunities. Um, so inside that gigantic litter box top is Merlot, my Guyana red-tailed boa. She's the snake that was around my neck in the last video, the little short that I posted. And honestly, it guys, I'm telling you, if you are afraid of snakes, like, go to an expo, give it a shot. These are fantastic animals. I mean, I've took Merlot outside. She's kind of cruised through the yard. She's not like one of those like the wild snakes or whatever. Like, you don't just sit her down and she's like takes off and tries to run away. She just cruises through the yard a little bit, and then, excuse me, you can grab her up, wrap her back around your neck, and go on about your day. As far as the fish, Chunk and Loki are doing good. She kind of gave me a bit of a scare. I be honest, I don't know what happened, but she seems to be doing fine now. Loki's Loki, he's fine. But on aside from aquatic tanks, there's another tank to the right on my computer stand. I got another snake that was given to me. The snake was won at an expo. Pretty fancy, like, I want to say $300, maybe $350 snake. He is a banana spider, and I think he might have a little bit extra, maybe. I don't know. Like, the guy come up to me and was like, "Holy crap! I want a snake and I can't keep it." He thought his girlfriend was going to take it, but she ended up not being able to. He had it for like a week at his cousin's house, and they didn't like to have snakes in the house, and he's being shipped out for a military security deal. So he asked me, he was like, "Hey, I know you love these animals, and you'll take fantastic care of it. Can you take it and, give it a better situation?" So I took it, and his name is Sylvester. I will show him later. Ball pythons are more just seclusive, which, I mean, I guess, like, so Merlot, she's sleeping too in her deal. But that's not even close to being it. Like, we've been pretty hectic. I haven't even really, I wouldn't say not felt like recording, but we've got 2 more boas. They're BCIs. One is hypo het cow, which hypo means the darker pigment is lacking, so she's a they're both brighter, but the larger female is lacking the darker pigment. And het cow means she has a albino gene that's not present in her pattern, but she's carrying the gene. And then we have a male that is smaller, and he is pretty much the same thing as Sylvie, which is the het cow, but he's got, like, I think raptor in him. I don't know. My sister has a banana cinnamon, I think cinnamon, or orange dream. Gosh, it's kind of hard to remember all of it. Banana orange dream, something else. I honestly, I don't know a whole lot of them. Like, I don't know what they are. He's a banana. Both of the male are, well, we have 4 pythons, and 2 males are bananas with a little bit of extra stuff thrown around in there. And then my mom has an inchy clown, and that's the male, and the female is a lesser clown. And also we have a het orange ghost stripe reticulated python male, and we named him after the great friend of mine that we purchased him from, Rodney. So Owen is my sister's ball python, the orange dream. Oh, and I actually, Sylvester, my banana, is peeking his head out. It's really hard to see. You wouldn't be able to see him. I don't have any lights on his tank right now, and with my lights off is really the only way you can see inside of the tanks. Owen, Sylvester, Sylvie, the male boa, his name is Merle, Merlot, and my mom's 2, the male is No Feet. And if you know what No Feet's from, comment below. We're probably close to the same age, and we can be friends. And the female, her name is Bo, because she looks like she's got ghosts, or not ghosts, aliens on her side. And they named her Bo off of the little girl on Signs. And then, of course, Rodney, the reticulated python. He's 8.5 months old, probably, well, 8 and like 3/4 now, almost 9 months old. And the dude is like a little over 4.5 feet long. Like, reticulateds get big. Like, we're looking at probably 12 to 14 feet with the male. They said probably closer to 12, but he ate 2 full-size mice. And I know that rats, if there's anybody that really keeps snakes in that watch this video, rats have more like calories, but that was just what we had on hand, were just like adult mice. So he ate 2, and he's a skinny, he's slender. Like, that's just a male reticulated. Well, reticulated in general, the females are girthier and they get bigger. Excuse me again. But the males stay a little bit thinner and they don't get as long. But so he's 4.5-ish feet long. Haven't really exactly measured him because, you know, he's a snake. It's kind of hard to exact measure a snake. But the big news is I have started working with the friend that I bought her off of, and I think, and Rodney. We bought her and Rodney off of Rodney, and he has offered me the chance to work with him and put my money into working with him with his like his breeders, and buying my own snakes to take to expos and sell with him, which is a massive opportunity. This is really, honestly, I really think this is like my passion and what I really, really want to do. I love this. I love going to the expos, and last expo I had a 6-foot jungle boa around my neck for like 8 hours, and educated people, and you know, they allow people to hold them and kind of get an idea of the animal themselves, because you know, I can tell you all day long that they're friendly and they won't hurt anybody, but until you are part of it and you hold that animal and you really feel it for yourself, it doesn't really translate to that person nearly as well. You know, oh, I'll take your word on it. Well, try it. And then they're like, wow, this animal seems so gentle, but it's literally one big muscle. So it's a great feeling to like help snuff out people's fear based off of somebody's wives' tale about how they got chased by like a 19-foot black snake and it wrapped up around their leg, and you know, it's just a bunch of crap most of the time. But to be able to travel to these expos, be able to put my own kind of idea into it, and you know, put my own knowledge, and be able to, you know, make my own, you know, be part of it, it's amazing. It's a fantastic opportunity. I'm very excited. I keep like, I'm watching the tank and my phone keeps going up, so I apologize for that. What else? Oh, Rodney is moving closer to me, so we should be able to visit him. He's moving onto our old property, hopefully sooner than later. The property has a house on it that needs a little bit of work, but you know, he dealt with houses and stuff before he got into reptiles. But I'll be able to bring you guys, hopefully. And again, like, I'm still kind of nervous with like talking in front of people, filming in front of people, but I'll be able to give you guys a more like in-depth, or like in-person, not in-person, but like, well, I guess I'll be able to take you guys straight to the source, if that makes any sense. There'll be hopefully more videos of the gators. He's got a few gators, and we're picking one up for him soon, I believe, this week. So he will be getting a few more gators. He's got one, Grace, and she's fantastic. I love Grace. She's also, right at that 4 foot mark. She's like 6 years old, and just a fantastic animal. Super gentle, super sweet. She'll lay on your shoulder and fall asleep. She's also part of the expo, where people get to learn more about the animal. And I'm gonna be honest with you, TV, like movies, have ruined a lot of these animals' reputations. Like, of course, alligators can be vicious. Like, we're not trying to say that you can just walk up to any alligator and cuddle with it. But with handling and patience, I mean, he's got ones that are just a couple years old that you can handle, and I pet him on the face. We kiss him on the nose, like, just puppy dog mentality animals, like alligators. So I hopefully should be able to bring you guys along and see that part of the deal. There's just reticulateds. There's videos of people saying that, oh, you can't handle reticulateds over like 11 or 12 feet. And honestly, like, I held a 12-foot reticulated by myself, and it fell asleep on my shoulder. Like, it's just how you handle them and how you care for them. If you love them and you give them attention, and you're part of their life, then you have a very, very good chance of having just a big baby. I've seen 16-footers that people, 18 even, like, they just let them roll through their house. You can't really have your cat or smallish dog running around. But, as far as being afraid that it's going to wrap you up and eat you, no. And I have a video, in my brain right now, of a woman trying to show off, be cool, and she grabs a 14-foot reticulated, which, mind you, was being totally chill. They're sporadic. They move around a lot for the first little bit. You just gotta let them get it out. They're just like a child. Like a kid, whenever it's just up from a nap, is going to be buck wild for a while. And reticulateds are no different. After 10 or 15 minutes of just being slithery noodles, they become much more handleable. In this case, she was trying to get the snake into a tote instead of legitimately just letting it roam around. It's not really going to hide. It's kind of hard to hide a 14-foot snake. But she grabs it by the neck. And of course, like any animal, whenever it is handled like a predator handles it, it's going to react with, its own health in mind. So she kind of grabbed this snake for theatrics by the neck, and it said, "I don't think so," and it wrapped her up around her head. It musked or pooped all over the place. It wrangled her up and said, "Nope, not happening." And it was kind of funny because she was like, "Oh, we do this all the time," and she grabbed that snake by the head and she had to have her hubby come over and help her, and that was kind of funny. If you don't give them attention, then yeah, you're gonna have some spiciness. But I mean, if you handle it often, you are part of its life daily, or like every couple, like, which, well, I guess not daily, because you feed them and you gotta kind of let them digest. Otherwise, if they get like too stressed or like agitated, well, not agitated, but like if they get worked up, excited, they can like puke up the food, their meal. So you want to feed them and then kind of learn their schedule. Some snakes it takes 4 days to digest, some snakes it takes a week, and some it takes 2 or 3 days. You just have to learn that animal. And age also makes a difference in how long it digests and how often it needs fed. Merlot is pretty much right at 1 jumbo rat. I could feed her every 2 weeks, but I don't want her to kind of grow too fast. So I'm gonna probably keep her on 3 weeks. Just so that she grows at a healthy rate and doesn't, like hyper grow or whatever you want to call it, and become unhealthy. That's a big thing. You can just load them full, and they will grow, but they won't grow healthy, and it takes years off of their life. But traveling with the expos is kind of crazy thought. It's a crazy thought for me, but it's honestly what I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. So I know this is a long, just rambling video, but it's hopefully some information to look forward to, because like I said, I'll be, and I don't know how long it'll be, but I'll be just probably 10 minutes away from alligators and burmese pythons, large reticulateds. Like, it'll be content, and I don't want to switch strictly over to like reptiles and like fish tanks and stuff like that. But at the same time, bullets and stuff got expensive. Outside stuff, projects wise, kind of slowed down, and there's not a whole lot of content to really record outside. The tank, the hot tub for Chunk, it's pretty much done. I just gotta finish plumbing the filter, but she's not big enough to need it yet. I might try to build a small, like, building for her pond to go inside of, so that it's not affected as much temperature wise by like wind and weather. And also, raccoons really, really love to wait on the edge of ponds and take fish. So I want to make sure she's a good size that a raccoon would think twice. On top of having the net, like the netting over the pond and stuff. But I know I don't really sound excited. I can't be too loud. It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But dude, this is such a big opportunity. Like, I'll be able to buy animals and be part of his business, and hopefully start selling my own stuff soon, which I'm super excited for. And I don't know what the policy for recording or whatever during these expos, but I might be able to kind of record some. Maybe on like a time-lapse type situation. But it's just me holding big snakes, talking to people, explaining, educating. And of course, there's always the selling side of it, where they take snakes and stuff that they've bought or bred and sell them, and I'll be part of that too, hopefully. So yeah, just kind of stay tuned. I know I say that a bunch, and here recently I haven't really held true to that, and I do apologize, but there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and we've been on the run almost every weekend for the past month, picking up snakes, going to expos. So just bear with me, and I'll have Merlot out more on the channel, hopefully. So, and maybe the rest of them, we might get more. I don't know. I have been kind of pitching the idea of gator, and I was told by Rodney that I could keep one at his place on the new property. So that might happen, and it'd be really cool. Bring him here for a couple days, maybe like an evening, and then load him up and take him back, and just actually be able to like take him to school events and stuff, and bring education to schools. And I love educating people on just how friendly these big snakes. Merlot's 6.5 feet long, almost 7 foot. So she does qualify as a monster, but she's not like reticulated, which we have one of those, or like anaconda, which reticulateds get bigger than anacondas, but anacondas get thicker and fatter. And a boa is actually related pretty close to an anaconda, which is why her water, which usually goes right there, is not in there, because she loves to spend time in her water dish, which is again just a giant litter pan. Because pet stores, for one, their hides, I couldn't find a hide big enough for her. And two, if you do find water bowls that's big enough, you're paying for it. Whenever literally you could just find any sort of container that they can fit in, and it's just as good. So she's got a place to hide, she's got a place to soak in. Normally, I took it out to keep the possibility of respiratory infections down. I'll put it back in shortly, and I'm going to change the bedding. This is some sort of like cocoa fiber, but it's like it's really, really fibrous, and I think it's mostly meant to be mixed with something else, and I really don't think she cares for it that much. So I'm gonna get reptile and kind of dilute it down a good bit to like 75% reptile, and just use these coconut husks to work with like holding the moisture and stuff. But yeah, that's just technical stuff. Oh, yep, Sylvester is out. 1 second, and I will try to get you guys a close-up of Sylvester without spooking him. Give me just a second. Okay, it's literally really hard to see, but like, he's a thick boy. He's a little over 3 feet. And I mean, there's my hand. He's bigger around than a pop can, but I spooked him and he curled up. So we're just gonna hit the light and back off on him. And that's reptile bark down there, so that anybody that's want to know. But we're going to go ahead and leave him alone. And I know it's really hard to see. She's kind of smudged up the glass. But you can see Merlot in there. She's just vibing.